Early Christmas shopping. Coach and Chev, we're here for you. What are some deals that we can get done? Let's talk about Justin Jefferson. Right now, wide receiver 18, Chev. In the past, you've seen wide receiver 3 in fantasy points per game. 2 years ago, wide receiver 5. All on down the list. 2, 4, 9. He's an absolute stud, one of the best wide receivers in the game. We're at a pivotal point, though, where you can buy him low. There's frustration in the market. Right now, just 12.9 fantasy points per game for Justin Jefferson. I'll pivot over to some of the trades that we see on Dynasty Daddy that have come through. The schedule. The Vikings will get the Commanders this week. I feel like that's a get-right spot.
Mm-hmm.
And dare I say, hopefully we get J.J. McCarthy. It's crazy to think of that. Then the Cowboys, at the Cowboys the next week, the Giants, and then week 17, it's the Lions. But if you have a capable, good quarterback, you might have something there. So, Chev, tell me what you think about Justin Jefferson, trading for him. And I see a 1-for-1. Speaking of the Lions, J-Jets for Amon-Ra, 2 QB, 12-team start 9, PPR 1 tight end premium. What do you think?
I was on the Twitter X the other day, and our good friend Dave Kluge mentioned, his quarterback play being so bad that it bottoms out his value. And I think we're in the middle of a generational buying opportunity. The one thing about Kevin O'Connell, not to get off too far onto the tangent before we talk about this trade, is that he usually figures it out with quarterbacks. So him not having success with JJ McCarthy off the bat has created this Brock Osweiler, John Skelton conundrum where you get a Hall of Fame talent wide receiver at a discount for what he represents, like over the course of the last 5 to 6 years. He's the number 1 wide receiver in all-time receiving yards per game going into this season. It's like 96.5 or something like that. It's incredible. And he's not incredible. It's just that they don't have the means to get him the football in a meaningful manner right now. So if they get that fixed, you're sitting there with a guy who's a top 3 dynasty wide receiver on your roster for less than what you would have had to pay at the beginning of the season. I think that's an unequivocal win. And what's sticking out to me here is this Justin Jefferson and a 2027 third for DK Metcalf, a 26-1 and a 27-1. Now, if that pick is anything other than like the 101, which I would be selecting Jeremiah Love in 2026 and potentially the 101 in 2027, where we're looking at the alien himself, the latest, greatest. I mean, the Godzilla of the Ohio State wide receiver lineage, like the chosen one, if you will, then give me Justin Jefferson. And even then still, give me Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
So, this is an opportunity to get Justin Jefferson on your team, especially if this year's not your year and you have capital built up. Yep. You can go buy a guy who's a cornerstone dynasty asset. Yep. He's in the prime of his career at 26 and going into his age 27 season. So, yeah, I absolutely love the fact that you can buy Justin Jefferson for, reasonable prices at this point. Because if we were in the middle of last year, none of this would have been happening. It's not like he's not good. And that's what we have to separate. Is the outcome what we want right now? No. Is he still really, really talented? Yes. Is he performing at his optimal level? No. Should I buy? Is he hurt? No. Then I should buy. Yes. So just work through that process a bunch of times. And if you're listening to people who say Justin Jefferson's washed, then you should probably stop listening to those people and listen to us. What do you think about that?
Shy of getting the 2 Jeremiahs, I'm biased. You have to get both Jeremiahs, Jeremiah Love and Jeremiah Smith, to really make this deal pop. DK Metcalf is just like a strike-through line. I'm not even looking at him. I'm really appealed to what you pointed out, 26 and 27-1 in this deal. J-Jets is really the guy. The 27th third, irrelevant. So this is really, are you trading 2 first for Justin Jefferson, which at the beginning of the season, if somebody said that to you, hey, you can get Justin Jefferson for 2 first in a heartbeat. Post startup, you would do that. You would do that anytime in an established league. Absolutely. The psychology in Dynasty, you have to buy players, cornerstone athletes too, when it's unappealing, when it's ugly, when it doesn't feel right, if you can't use that discipline, you can't have that dynasty discipline, that muscle not exercised, then you will fail at so many opportunities. You have to buy when it's ugly because, hey, he throws on a 30 burger this week against the Commanders. Kiss goodbye. Any shot at some of these deals happening. And it's back to exactly what you said. You just have to tell a small story about it. And to your point, if he's not hurt, we have just allowed for circumstances to break open. You pray for opportunities like this, but the problem is if you pray for opportunities like this and you don't seek these out when they come up, then you're just failing. You're just wish casting, you're wanting, you don't have. Let's go over to somebody who you had plenty of opportunity to get. He was the RB15 this last week. So a high-end RB2. We're talking about Bucky Irving, 16.1 fantasy points. And surprisingly enough, his points per game, he is at 17.6 for the season. So very good for him. Just 5 games. It's been a long absence from week 4. We got some deals over here for Bucky Irving. Looking at the schedule, Chev, talk about this is awesome, right? The Saints at home, the Falcons at home, the Panthers on the road, the Dolphins in week 17. Just an incredible 1-month run out. If you are in contention and you have him, you're just looking at an opportunity for the next month. That can make up for missing since week 4 this time. You don't want it to happen every year. But if you're getting somebody like that off your IR spot, which has been IR all-stars all year, sign me up. Let's take some of these deals that we have here, Chev. But what's your thoughts on acquiring Bucky Irving?
Love it, love it, love it. We were late to the party on Bucky Irving because of the fact that I believed in Rachaad White so much. But all I got to do is see a guy be good at football, and then I believe him. So Bucky Irving never stopped being good at football. It just so happened that he got injured, and then he dealt with some mental struggles once he was injured, because this is your livelihood. This is something, a piece of your needs pyramid being ripped away unexpectedly, and you have to bounce back from that. So with Bucky Irving, I'm firmly in the camp of buy as much as humanly possible. He's a little guy that doesn't play like a little guy. He fights through contact. He's incredible between the tackles. Basically, he's discount Devon Achane. And you're getting him in an elite offense in an environment where you can basically bank on him giving you about 15 to 20 points a week. He's handling all the work. He's done everything you need to see. I believe that he just became like the second Buccaneer in history to go over 2,000 yards and 25 touchdowns or something like that in his first 25 games or something like that. So he's doing the things. He's doing everything that you want to see from an elite running back, and he's not priced that way. Now, I do see some interesting trades here. I see the 2027 round 1 Travion and the 2027 2 for Bucky Irving and Jalen Waddle. As much of a Waddle denier as I am, I still can't bring myself to not take this deal. That just seems like a smash to me. You're taking the mystery box and the picks, and you're eliminating that, and you're taking the alpha in a passing offense and the alpha in a run game, in an elite run game. So, yeah, sign me up for that. The one that I do have a little bit of pause here is my adopted son, Aronde Gaston II, in a 1-point tight end premium, and Trey Benson, which is a nothing burger right now. But it's start 9. It's start 9. I still have to take Bucky Irving there.
Okay, that's where I was going to go, because if you see Bucky Irving as a blue chip running back, and if you have that vision for him, I think you do what you can to make sure he's on your squad, because rarer is somebody like a Bucky Irving with how running backs go down. Granted, there's replaceability in the running back market, but you talked about a blue chipper in Devon Achane, somebody like Bucky Irving. If we think that way, we got to go that way. I'm going to go with Bucky Irving. Ronde Gasson, very, very appealing there. But like you said, we strike out Trey Benson. The Irving and Waddle, we love that side just for the fact that Travion Henderson Could he be Jahmyr Gibbs light? Sure. But we're also, those 27 picks are 2 years out, and you're getting the immediacy of Jalen Waddle. I love that. And I like how it's better to, and these are two players, Bucky Irving for you and Jalen Waddle, Chev. Better to be wrong and then right than never right at all. And you are absolutely right now. And that's the adjustment in real time that you've made. You have opportunities to be profitable, and you're reaping benefits where you are acquiring Bucky Irving. So I love that. Some good deals out there. There's liquidity in the market. And what's neat is because we kind of haggled and worried and wondered there with the Aranda Gatson one, it means that there's deals that can be made. So speaking of Dynasty, let's hear from the Podfather.
Hey, what if I told you there was a Dynasty app where you could get player lifetime values, evaluate trades, including draft picks out to 2028, compare the advanced metrics of two players, look up the sentiment, buy, sell, hold on players? Well, there is a mobile app that has all of that and more called the Dynasty Dominator, and it's $5 in the App Store on Google Play. This is my gift to you, the most affordable Dynasty League domination app available today. And if you already have it, the 2025 class is ready to download. Let's go!
All right, talking about adopted sons, family, players that we feel very strongly about. We have just like an affinity for. Adonai Mitchell, AD Mitchell. In the offseason, Chev, we talked about AD Mitchell, how he can mirror some of the traits that a George Pickens has. And we finally saw him burst on the scene. Wide receiver 6 overall in week 13. 8 catches, 12 targets, 102 yards receiving, and a touchdown. The beauty is with Tyrod Taylor versus Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor, not the future. But guess what? You're getting a good football thrown to you. And that's what Adonai Mitchell definitely needed. And sure, is he to blame for some of the things that he's been shortcoming for? Yes. He dropped that ball in the end zone. He cost me $500 on that play alone. Yeah. I love him regardless. He is a talent. That the way the ball vacuumed in that Colts-Rams game to him on the inside stride, and he turned upfield. Not enough people still talk about that play to this day because of the back end of what happened. We see him here, all the metrics. People forget he was a second-round pick, and he was thrown in that Jets pick, and the Jets were just, hey, I want that guy. It's kind of like, Chev, crazy enough, when you're like, hey, throw me Aranda Gatson in this deal, and we can make it happen. Months ago when it was kind of the book of secrets, right?
Yeah.
AD Mitchell's one of those players that we've been trying to throw in, and that's what the Jets did. They said, hey, throw AD Mitchell in, and hey, we've got a deal. You get your Sauce Gardner, and they're running to the bank with those picks. So we have a couple different deals that are going on for Adonai Mitchell. Chev, talk to us about AD Mitchell. I know you're a fan. You've acquired him in some dynasty leagues that I've seen. Talk your game.
This is very vindicating because the thing with him is it was always going to be challenging because of the amount of wide receiver talent that they have in Indianapolis. And, it just so happened that they had an opportunity to go get Sauce, and now they've got Sauce. And so, the Jets decided to, even after passing on him and taking Malachi Corley, they bring Adonai Mitchell in, and with Tyrod Taylor, he is now flourishing. You saw them immediately. Tanner Inkster, the offensive coordinator, fresh off the trade, the first time he's active, they're peppering him with targets. He beat Christian Gonzalez deep. Did he catch the ball? No. Sometimes his hands develop Megan Fox thumbs at the ends of each one of his digits, and he can't catch the football. Why? I don't know. But last week, he caught the football. The week before, he caught the football. He's out there. He's finally playing full time. So I think the confidence is just going to grow the more that he gets to play football. He is a blue chip talent as a football player. And I know that it's not cool to say because it hasn't happened yet, but that's kind of my thing at this point. So I've picked him up in a couple leagues. I paid a pretty penny for him in the one league that we're in together early on with, a questionable asset. I got a little too excited, but I will put my money where my mouth is when it comes to players that I really believe in. So like now you have liquidity in the market with with a guy like Adonai Mitchell. If you're a contender, you want to send Adonai Mitchell and the 2026 second for Travis Etienne. Sure. You want to send Adonai Mitchell and Tyrone Tracy for DeAndre Swift? Sure. Now, these all happened before the breakout game. So kudos to those people who either believe in Adonai Mitchell that much or wanted to be early to the party of acquiring Adonai Mitchell, or just being liquid and somebody liking Adonai Mitchell and being like, yeah, man, this is a win now piece for me. Give me something to retool with. I'm with you. So all that being said, it's just that I think that this is an ascending thing. We were looking for a pass catcher beyond Garrett Wilson in New York, and now they have it with him having another 2 years left on his deal after this one. So that could pair up and be a dynamic duo if a guy like Fernando Mendoza ends up being a Jet. Like, just imagine the type of value that you've created at the bottom of your roster. It's Nico Collins, which you've known me not long enough to know when I was screaming about Nico Collins being good in Discords way back in the day. So it could be Nico Collins all over again, and people act like they don't even care. So yes, go buy Adonai Mitchell. I did, ironically enough, somebody DM me. Hopefully, I'm going to send this to him. Hopefully, he'll watch this. But he was like, "Man, should I take this deal?" He's like, "I just saw what Adonai did, and I've heard you talking about Adonai so much." He's like, "But should I take this deal?" It was Basil Tootin and Chris Olave for Adonai, a second, and another piece. And I was like, "Yes, you have to take the deal, but understand that Adonai Mitchell, I believe that he's one of the upper tier talents at the position, whether he puts it all together or not, but you have to take the deal if you're contending. And, you're acquiring Basil Tootin and you have Travis Etienne, because those will be split assets that have their own independent value going into 2026. And you have, Chris Olave, who's basically locked in for 150 targets moving forward, as long as he doesn't get concussed. So if you're going to sell, I think now's the time still to buy, because people are going to say he's on the Jets. That's gross. So what do you think?
Hey, I'm with it. And I like that Olave side that you were talking about. I feel like you need to get a little bit more. And the beauty is you don't need to necessarily pay the price. You can get cheaper for Adonai Mitchell. The schedule: Dolphins, Jaguars, Saints, the next 3 weeks. Week 17, home versus the Patriots. But ironically, to what you spoke to, he got open against New England. He can cook defenders. He's a really good player, and it's just been fun. I have a ton of best ball bags with him. Hopefully he's on some of these teams that are surviving, and I get a beautiful push right to the end. I couldn't be more happy. I got a little bit of him in Dynasty, and of course next year I will be drafting him, whether it's round 14 or does he creep to the single digits in round 9, whatever the hype is. I'll be getting requisite shares, because even though he's been at the bottom, up here we can still profit because you and I both see that ceiling. So I've been Coach. This has been Chev. We are the Trade Gods. We will see you next week.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.